Hey, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel. Today's build is going to be centered around DPS with the Hunter class, getting your super as fast as humanly possible, and it's going to feature my pants. But not just any pants, my Lucky Pants. For those that don't know, the perk for Lucky Pants, illegally modded holster, increases the damage of your hand cannon up to 450%. That's right, not 45, 450. The only drawback being is once the perk runs out, you have Out of Luck, and until that runs out, you cannot reproc the illegally modded holster perk. So you have to work around that a little bit. But other than that, it's great. By the way, I know some people are thinking this, so let's just get it out of the way. Oh, this is a swapping build. More menu gameplay, blah, blah, blah. No. You can swap to optimize more damage, but you can do this build just doing pure Lucky Pants, and that's it. Here's a quick clip of just using Lucky Pants. Starting off with Goldie. Shoot him in the face 3 times. Swap out. Go to your hand cannon. Now we have illegally modded holster on. And now we're going to have Out of Luck, but we keep shooting because we still have a timer on it. So now when it gets to like 2 seconds, you go to bang, bang, or you go to your primary if you'd like. Now we're back. I have my super by now also, so just use that. And now we continue with the hand cannon. As you can see, I have my dodge back now, so whenever I do run out of bullets, I do that. Out of Luck is up again. We wait for the timer to get close. Reload. Go to heavy. Go back. Oh, I have my Goldie again. And as you can see, it's a good loop. You're getting your super extremely fast. The only difference is, obviously, Nighthawk would do more damage with the actual super shot, but aside from that, you'll still do great damage and get your super many times in a damage phase. So, both are good. If you don't like swapping, you could just go pure Lucky Pants. If you tolerate swapping or you like doing it, then you can opt to use Nighthawk as well to optimize your damage for your super. You make the choice. On to our kit. So we're using Prismatic Hunter, of course, with Golden Gun as our super. In our abilities, we're using a Smoke Bomb for weakening effects. Then in our grenade, we're using Dust Field for a stasis debuff or a darkness debuff for one of our fragments. And then for our dodge, we're using Marksman's Dodge to get a reload off. For aspects, it technically does not matter what you use. You can use any of them. But me personally, I have Stylish on to go invis occasionally when I do kill something that it has a debuff on it. And then the other aspect is Ascension. So quick little fun fact. If you reload dodge on the ground, you only reload your one weapon. However, if you use Ascension with your reload dodge, you reload all of your weapons at the same time. So that's just a little bonus there that I keep on for this aspect. For my fragments, I have 4 of them in the following order. First is going to be Facet of Justice. We're going to ignore anything it actually does. The reason why it's here is because it gives me plus 10 to my super stat, and that's it. The second fragment is going to be Facet of Protection. When I'm surrounded by combatants, I am more resistant to incoming damage, and also gives me plus 10 melee. 3 is going to be Facet of Ruin. This gives me plus 10 weapons, but also it gives me more shatter damage when I freeze the target with Dust Field or I use my Prismatic Grenade. And then lastly, Facet of Courage. This is what I was alluding to with Dust Field. When I put a darkness debuff on an enemy, my light abilities do more damage. In this case, my Golden Gun, whether it's just a regular one or with Nighthawk. And here is the stat breakdown. So for the Lucky Pants build specifically, the 2 things you want to aim for is going to be weapons, because you are using your hand cannon in this case for weapon damage. So you want to maximize this as much as humanly possible. And then you also want 100 super, so you have the maximized amount for the lowest cooldown to get to your super as quick as you can. You also want to have your dodge high enough to where you get it back fast enough for your loops, as you saw in the footage where I would use up my hand cannon, including with wee wounds, and I had that brief moment where I needed to use my dodge just to get more ammo back. That's what that's for, so I recommend getting this up at least a little bit. And then the rest of the stats don't really matter. If you want to pump them up, cool, but I would ignore health entirely. It's completely useless. Now, for the armor, in my helmet, it's an illegal roll, Artifice Pre-Edge of Fate. It has 33 weapons and then 25 super, and I also have 3 super fonts in here to boost up my super even further by 50 points. Then, in the gloves, these are Solstice gloves, and it's Specialist. I have 35 weapons, 35 class ability, and then 20 melee, but that doesn't particularly matter for this build. In my chest, it's, again, illegal. I have 42 weapons with the mods and everything, and then 23 super. I have resist mods in here. Oh, for the gloves, I also have reloader mods, just in case. And then Lucky Pants, these are just exotic Lucky Pants. I believe these are pre-Edge of Fate, though. They're not like a 59 roll. I have 3 copies of Solar Weapon Surge on it for my hand cannon. And then finally, class item is also from Solstice. It has 20 super, 30 class, and 40 weapons with the mods and all that. And it has distribution to reduce the cooldown of my super, powerful attraction to scoop up orbs, and then time dilation for any orbs on the ground that I pick up for armor charges to make my timer last longer. Now for our weapons, get to the damn weapons! The main weapon in this build is going to be our Agape hand cannon. I think I said that right. This hand cannon is available on Kepler. You can actually focus farm it, and I highly recommend that you get a tier 4 or a tier 5 version when you can. The perks we're going to be using are going to be the following. We have Rewind Rounds in the 3rd column, Wee Woo Rounds, and then Precision Instrument in the 4th column. Precision Instrument goes up to 30% bonus damage once you have it ramped up to the max stacks. And in the mag slot, I have Appended Mag. This also can roll Extended Mag, but it makes your reload suffer in the event that you do have to manually reload. And it's only 2 less bullets on Appended Mag, so I just opted for this instead. And then on our mod slot, we have Temporal Blast, just to give us some bonus damage. It is the most busted mod we have currently this season. For the top slot, I went with Mint Retrograde, but I also would recommend using Supremacy in that slot. Mint is just good everywhere. And then Supremacy, you can proc Kinetic Tremors real quick for some bonus damage and also super energy when you're swapping between hand cannons. Other than that, you can use whatever you want in this slot. In my heavy slot, I'm rocking Heathen's Vengeance for a few reasons. Number one, obviously, it's a great weapon for DPS. The second reason is the Origin trait, where when I activate my super, the magazine gets doubled and refilled. So when I use 2 rockets, pop my super, bang, I get 2 more rockets back. I don't have to worry about proccing like Envious Arsenal, for example. The rockets are already there. And lastly, it also surge matches with my hand cannon, which is solar. The perks for my Heathens is Envious Arsenal and Bait and Switch, by the way, for anybody that was curious. Now, if you are somebody that doesn't mind swapping, then you're going to have a second loadout ready for DPS. That is going to be a Nighthawk build. The only thing you need to worry about for a Nighthawk build is going to be super and weapon damage, and that's it. Ignore everything else. Here's a quick preview of my stats on my armor for this Nighthawk build. Again, 3 super fonts. Then we have a gunner glove set. We have another illegal armor set for Artifice. We have Untethered Edge Shrines. I believe that is the failsafe gear from Echoes. And then lastly, another Solstice Cloak with Gunner on it. And my stats are 200 weapons, maxed out, and then 150 super plus 3 super fonts, equaling to 200. I should note that your super stat for your Nighthawk setup is your number 1 priority. The weapon stat is only there in the event that you want to fire some rockets off, and that's it. But since you're going to be swapping back to Lucky Pants, you don't need to maximize the weapon stat. I just happen to have the armor available to me, but your super stat is number 1. Let's talk about the loop, because it does have some inconsistencies if you're not doing it right. So generally, what I like to do is I start my DPS with my Nighthawk, and then as soon as I do that, I switch to the Lucky Pants build. When I'm switching, I always have something that's not the hand cannon on, so my primary or my heavy, because if you have your hand cannon on as you're switching, you are not going to proc the illegally modded holster, so you're not going to get the bonus damage. So always swap with something that's not the hand cannon. Once you're on the Lucky Pants build, you swap to the hand cannon, it'll proc the illegally modded holster, then you start doing the bonus damage. Keep shooting the enemy in the face until your ammo gets low. Then, when you're out of luck and your rewind rounds has procced already and you're reaching the end of your magazine, you use the reload dodge to get back to full ammo and then continue going. As your timer for out of luck is getting low, reload the hand cannon so it's at full ammo, that's important, and then swap to a different weapon. Go to your Nighthawk now since you have your super, pop your super, shoot your Nighthawk, bang, go back to Lucky Pants, and then swap to the hand cannon again to proc illegally modded holster. If you swap out with the hand cannon on and you don't have full ammo, again, the illegally modded holster does not proc. If for some reason you do not have your super as you're done with your hand cannon loop, that is where I switch to either my rockets or mint or supremacy, and I get a couple of shots off of those just to fill up my super, and then I go to Nighthawk. Another thing you can do for some quick burst damage is when you're swapping back to Lucky Pants, you may have noticed this in the intro, I would shoot off 2 Heathen rockets, which are already pumped with the Solar Surge mods that I have, and then get some chunky damage from that, and then I go into my hand cannon to fill up my super, which will lead me to a full super, and then going back to Nighthawk. In the event that you're not using Nighthawk because you don't want to swap, you just sit on Lucky Pants and pop your super as fast as humanly possible, get off the 3 shots, make 6 orbs for your teammates, and then keep the loop going. The one general tip I have for both, either swapping or not, is just make sure that your hand cannon is reloaded, whether it's with your dodge or manually, and when you swap out, it's not half the mag down. That way, you ensure that illegally modded holster will activate. Here's a quick look at the mods for people that don't use dim. By the way, I'll have a dim link for this build down in the description below. So, helmet, 3 super font mods to get 50 points for my super stat. In gloves, 3 solar loaders, just in the event that I have to reload. In my chest, it's just resist mods, but you could put a ammo gen mod in here if you'd like. Boots, we have 3 solar weapon surge. And then cloak, distribution, powerful traction, and time dilation. For your artifact, the 3 things that you should have on are going to be fever and chill, to give you radiant for your solar precision hits. Then shoulder to shoulder, when you're hitting precision hits, you have damage resist with 2 or more allies. And then radiant shrapnel. This basically will just give you bonus free damage as you're shooting your hand cannon. That's it. It's free damage. Anyway, I'm done yapping. Hopefully you enjoyed the build. If you did enjoy the video, please consider subscribing today. It does help the channel grow and is much appreciated. If you want to go the extra mile, you can leave a like and or comment below as well. If you don't know what to leave as a comment, you can leave Lucky Pants as the comment. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.